pure taste and pure delight. Orange apple cranberry, fruit punch mango, yes sir. High in energy. Jumping up every day and I jumping up every night. I think it's back and it's pure taste, pure delight. Energy to unload behind a truck down the road. Details going to explode. Tropical delight, juicy. Tropical delight, pure taste and pure delight.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome once again to this edition of the Wake Up Guyana Show. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and you're tuned in to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 if you're catching us from Esquimalt and in Demerara. And if you're in Barbados and you so desire, it is 99.5. We also coming to you live stream on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. So wherever you are today, it's a beautiful day right out there. Many persons on the road doing what they have to do. And as usual, we have so many important things to tell you. For example, major changes expected, especially in the banking sector. If you want to open an account, and you could recall it was a big problem after the anti-money laundering laws were passed a couple of years back, that you had to fulfill a whole bunch of requirements. Well, the Bank of Guyana has been taking note of it, and they have come out with a menu of measures that is going to ease, especially the plights of the pensioners and the older folks who would have been complaining that it's so hard for you to open an account. They ask you for all kind of things, including source of income. If you're a senior citizen, how do you have a source of income other than your pension? I think the majority of folks out there, that is the case. So we're going to be discussing that in a very, very short while. We are also going to be telling you that today happens to be the birthday of First Lady Arya Ali. First Lady Arya Ali. We want to say on behalf of Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, and all the staffers here, including for myself, a happy birthday to the First Lady Arya Ali. And I'm not sure in this COVID 19 times, so what is going to be the celebration, but I presume it's a very special day for her. So very quickly, because we would want to open these lines, the last couple of days on Friday. Let me tell you what is going to be happening on Friday. Friday, we have booked Ministry of Education officials to be on this program here. As you recall, school for a number of secondary schools, that is, has started, classes have started in a virtual format. And we want to know, of course, so what is going to happen to the rest of the students who may not necessarily have access to the normal classes or the virtual classes that we would have there. I think there was a tour of a couple of facilities, school facilities, by the Minister of Education, Priya Manik Chan. And what we see coming out from that is that there's a plan in progress. It's going to be a phased kind of thing. Maybe certain classes, there's going to be some kind of classes being held sometime or the other. But as of now, we want to have an idea what those plans are. And so on Friday, we're going to have the officials from the Ministry of Education coming or talking to us on Kaieteur Radio here on the Wake Up Guyana show, and we're going to be having some clarity on that. In the meantime, let me tell you that a man got caught this morning, broke into the people's house while they were upstairs, and he's downstairs and surrounded the place and caught. Don't do that. That's in Parika Bushy Park, Puerto. We're going to be telling you a little about that. But in the meantime, very quickly, because it's going to be a packed day, we have to interrupt. We'd have to deal with calls as normal. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing today, if you're in the kitchen as always, if you're in the bedroom, if you're rocking in the hammocks, whether you are driving, if you're seated in your office, if you're working in the factories, if you're a taxi driver, if you're a hire car driver, a minibus driver, whatever it is that you're doing today. I know one of our callers says that he's an excavator operator, and whenever the show comes on, it's time for him to take a break. And even while he's working, he would be listening to the Wake Up Guyana show because he wants to hear some of the issues that our people are encountering, and maybe what we're talking about solutions all the time. So very quickly, we are going to head straight into the Kaieteur newspaper today. It is the Guyana's largest selling daily newspaper. It has been that way for years and years, and people are still continuing to ensure that they get a copy or get the news as it is when it comes to them. October the 21st, 2020, knife bandits rob teen, celebrate next to her house, threaten family. Shocking case here, and the police need to act on that. I would expect to see tomorrow morning that they have descended and they've arrested these folks. Of course, all due that somebody is innocent until proven guilty. However, when you see these things happen, and I can tell you in many neighborhoods, people would have been quarreling about noise, about smell, and things like that. And of course, criminal elements. And it seems as if authorities, police, and everybody in cahoots with these folks here. There's so many things that are so wrong with the society that we need to get it fixed and fix it urgently. And we need to take all at once, maybe in my view, because you would have to start somewhere. And it's going to be a long uphill walk, but we're not going to stop. And so, of course, we go to the front page again, to the main story here. Ramattar agreed. This is former President Donald Ramattar agreed for Guyana to repay Kanji owners 1% royalty. And so, in short, Guyana gets nothing. And I'm sure that if you read the story here, you're going to see it's telling us so many different sides, from our agreement that we signed with the operators to the point of what exactly Guyana is going to get. The laws, the absence of laws, the corruption part. There's so many sides to the entire oil and gas sector here. And we have to continue to educate ourselves, to get ourselves up to speed as to what other countries are doing, what lessons or what experiences they would have had, and how could we use those experiences to improve ourselves or to not fall into the same trap. So wherever you are today, pay attention, get a copy of your newspaper here, and get yourself familiar with these issues here. It has to do with nothing else except what comes into your pocket, and that is very important for most people. What is your country giving you when they take your resources and they're handling it? Are you getting the best deal? Are you being shortchanged? You should be concerned. You are citizens of this country here, and there should be no other reasons for your existence except that you ensure that you protect it. If you're not protecting it for yourself, protect it for your family, protect it for your children, for your grandchildren, and for the rest of the generations that are to come. CDC monitoring sinking oil vessel off Venezuela. We've been talking about this. This oil vessel is threatened. If there's an oil spill, it's getting lower and lower. I saw some photographs at the end of September and what it is now, almost 21 days, 3 weeks later. It is really dangerous there, and they need to get those. I think there's several there's significant amount of oil in that vessel there, and if it sinks, Guyana could be affected too. So Guyana is monitoring that, and they're getting ready for the worst. I'm not sure why they're not handling the situation here. Over 100 community health workers were hired without documentation by the coalition government, haven't been paid for 8 months. And so I'm not sure how this happened. How do you hire somebody, especially when you have a government situation, without engaging them on a formal way or in a formal way? There's no documents. You don't have these people sign. How do you do that? I'm not sure. has to be some investigation. The Guyana's local content policy must create long-term value for generations to come, and this is an expert saying that. And we cannot get away from these issues here. Of course, you go down. Let me see some other stories that they have in this newspaper here. Blame it on the rain. The them boys said the review team that is going to be so. Freddie Kissoon, Yusukwa, and the disgraceful fall of an icon. Freddie Kissoon at his best there. Government collaborates with FAO to develop sustainable rural communities, and I think that's the direction that we have to go to. If you have communities that could sustain themselves, every village that they could have a community center, they could have a functioning NDC, that they could have a group of citizens who ensure that people don't throw garbage. The minute garbage ends up in front of your house, they're going to come to you and they're going to insist that you remove it. They're going to make your life very uncomfortable, because that's what communities do in developed places. So you don't dare not do anything. There's going to be penalties for that. So in the meantime, today also I'm going to tell you that we've gone to 116 cases, 2 persons, 2 men from the Region 1 area, the border areas there. And so the numbers are climbing. The numbers are climbing in our border areas there. So we have 116 persons, that's a death toll right now, and 2 elderly persons, 180, 178 in Region 1. They have died. And so we are going to come back and tell you. And so virtual training for health workers to assist with COVID-19 mental health challenges. And this is a very important story here. It's not easy for the doctors and the nurses in this time, these trying times. And when you see that our people are going through and they are in the front lines, that they're handling, how they're handling the situation, you have to bring them up to speed, give them training, give them counseling, tell them what to do. It is something that is continuous, and it's good to see that the authorities are paying attention, that our people are really not allowing this to happen. Driver who had done Kaieteur staff was caught. Apparently this guy hit down 2 bikemen of our Kaieteur newspaper here, and he escaped. He escaped the scene. They got the video of it and they published it, and he didn't come forward. Guess where he was caught? Caught in a line by the policeman who was paying attention, because they issued they were I think the police had been on the lookout for him. Let me see what the police are saying here. The car was spotted in the early morning hours by traffic ranks operating on the East Bank at the entrance of Magdum. The driver was subsequently escorted in the car to the Rheinfeld police station, where he's told about the offense. He offered the staffers $10,000. He says he felt something, and he just went on. He didn't think anything much about it. But this is a nonsense. If something that you feel with the car, that you hit something, do not just take it as it is. Do something about it. Stop. Do not escape from the scene of a crime. That is a big no-no. And I think our operators are signaling us there. In the meantime, while they are getting ready for us, let me tell you about the Bank of Guyana, and we'll be going to read about that in a very short while. The students, what we be having, I'm going to tell you a little about the student that we had some complaints from some parents this morning. The parents are asking, and I probably have to raise this issue here with the Ministry of, 1 second please. Yes, thank you, we're back here. I had calls from a number of parents this morning, and this is what they had to say. They were wondering, in this hard guava season, that the children are at home and they're doing school, they're learning virtually or so on. What is the reason that you would put an extra burden on the children or on parents by having them buy uniform, buy badge? It's not an easy set of money that you're going to find. It's about $10,000 thereabout. and you got to have the badges on, everything. But you at home, you should have that money remain in the pockets of the parents. Some high school in Georgetown have been putting parents through that. I'm not sure whether somebody's not thinking. I'm going to be raising this issue here with Minister Priya Chan or even the PS Alfred King there. Good day to both of you, lady and gentlemen, for us to get some answers as to maybe whether we can stop it. Because if you could allow some of these money to remain in the hands of our people during this hard guava season, you don't need. I'm thinking that maybe you don't need the kids them to be in uniform. But I want to hear from you guys today. What's your thought on it? Because you can't be penny wise, pound foolish. Or on one hand, you give it to the people. That is the cash, the COVID cash money that you're giving to them. That $25,000, and then you asking them to buy uniform, in which the kids are sitting. Yes, I understand the discipline arguments and so there that they should believe that they're still in school. I understand that, but we have to at this time here use some initiatives on our part. Have the money remain with the parents who can't afford it. So somebody did call us this morning, and did indicate that this is indeed the case. 3 persons escaped from the Luzaknan prison, and they more accused, and we should be on the lookout. I'm going to bring you some details in a very short while. Operator, do we have any thing that we had a break for? Thank you very much, Zero. So very quickly, let me bring you this Bank of Guyana story here, which I have to read to you because it impacts all Guyana. You remember that a few years back, that there was a passage of new laws in keeping with what the international banking, the bankers and most countries want all countries in the world to toe the line, meaning that you have to put systems in place to ensure that your banks, your financial institutions are not being used to launder money. It could be money that's coming from wars, that money come from drugs, it could be funding terrorism and so on. So Guyana signed on to the anti-money laundering laws, the new laws, and there was a number of things that had to be done in order to ensure that you are compliant, and among other things, is to ensure that the customers that are coming into the banks and the financial institution, that you know them. And ever so often, the opening of account became a burden. They ask you for so many documents, ID card, proof of address, a whole bunch of stuff that you had to keep, and you had to keep submitting these things on a regular basis. Well, the Bank of Guyana have come out with a statement, and they're indicating that they understand that, especially for the pensioners, that is a big issue, and so they're making it easier for the pensioners, especially, and by extension, the rest of Guyana, to open an account, to conduct transactions, and not have the burden really be placed on them. It was a big issue. So here is what we have from the Bank of Guyana. Review of the anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism, AML, CFT, know your customer, and customer due diligence requirements, CDD. The Bank of Guyana hereby informs the general public that it's currently in the process of reviewing and modifying previously issued guidance in its supervision guideline number 13 in the KYC, Know Your Customer, and the CDD, which is the customer due diligence requirements for the opening and maintenance of customer accounts at the licensed financial institution, LFIs. And they're talking here about the banks and other places, NBS and so on. I think the trust company and so. The amended guidelines or guidance is intended to specify simplified due diligence measures for customers who are categorized as low risk. These simplified measures would include the acceptance of one form of ID document, either national identification card, a passport, or this is a big one for you now, a driver's license that's supposed to be accepted. In instances where the identity documents contain the details of the customer's address, I think your ID card would have that, your driver's ID card, such as documents may also be accepted for proof of address, and there will be no requirement for the annual submission of these documents to the financial institutions. These are the banks and the NBS and so on. In addition, the requirements for medium and high risk customers will also be revisited with a view of enhancing the risk rating framework for these categories. The measures will conform to the Financial Action Task Force recommendation. This is an international task force which is looking to make sure that current countries comply, or else they could very well not have their banks do business with Guyana. And so they're saying this is intended to reduce the burden on individuals who were previously faced challenges in securing the requisite the documentary requirements for the opening and operating of the accounts at the financial institutions. Further, the bank has always strived to foster greater financial inclusion, as is evident by these and other measures, including the issuance of Circular Number 53, 2018, which provided for the reduced due diligence measures for a certain category of customers. It's a big story here. If you go into the bank and you have a driver's license, they could use that, or they're supposed to be using that as a, this is on the new measures taken by the Bank of Guyana. If you're opening an account or whatever it is that you're doing, your driver's license would suffice in this particular case. In the case of also of your ID, what is required, you could present, it is okay for you to present your ID card, your driver's ID, or your driver's ID, or your passport, or all three if you have them and you want to do that. But the big one here is the driver's ID. So that's a big thing in terms of the what is happening. So let me tell you also, there is a story that caught my eye, which I kind of think, President Ali calls on all leaders to unify the country as government works to foster togetherness. President Ali today, and this I think this would have happened on Tuesday, called on leaders to foster unity among the people, saying discord is the greatest challenge toward development. The president made this appeal at a ceremony to unveil the collection of commemorative centenary, sorry, my throat's getting dry, stamps on the 100th birth anniversary of former President Janet Jagan OE. The ceremony was held at State House on Tuesday. The head of state said unity rests entirely on the shoulders of the leaders. We cannot lead without dignity. We cannot lead in a way that's disrespectful to the laws of Guyana. Today, I ask all of Guyana, especially within our political landscape, to assume individually and collectively the role of achieving the unification of our people. President Ali has said in this statement issued by the government. So that, in essence, are some of the big stories that we would have today. The Bank of Guyana, a happy birthday to First Lady Ari Ali. 2 more deaths, leading us to 116 total. That's a death toll that Guyana is facing. And it's a deadly October month for the people of Guyana. We've seen sometimes as much as 4 deaths in one day. And already it's the 21st day, and I think we're touching almost 30 deaths for the 21 days. Students, of course, students would have complained. And of course, people would have been complaining also about the smell and the noise in the neighborhood. They want the government to look into this entire thing, EPA, to start strengthening it up itself, so they could have these institutions working. People are complaining that it's hampering the study, the sense of peace. And when you have neighbors minding animals and so right in the vicinity, what is supposed to be not a farming community, but definitely a housing area, you have somebody who's not paying attention. So right about now, in a very short while, we are going to be opening up the lines. And I'm going to tell you that the numbers, as usual, that you could send us a text to at 622-222, 622-222, or you could also get us on 226-7453. call us on 226-7453. The 622-222 is not for calls. That's just only for text. So we could be able to read it, whatever is affecting you, wherever you are. You send us those, whatever it is that you want to say about what is happening in our country here. Do not call us on 622-222. We're not going to take any calls on that. So it is time. It is time for the CARICOM Insurance, CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. Better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo today covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regenton or Knox Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. So right away, let us see. Are we ready to rumble today? It is 226-7453. We want to get our people already here. And so there's a caller already on the line. Good afternoon, caller. On the air. Go right ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. A calling concerning a teacher at Grove School.
A teacher at Grove School, yes?
Yeah, you know when you're on the line, right?
Yes.
Now if you're giving them work, you just can't just put the work on the board and tell them to read and just answer questions. You have to explain.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do some explanation. Every day that's her work. She don't explain nothing.
And this is in which class?
And this is grade 5.
Grade 5.
Yeah.
Have you guys raised the issue there with the headmistress or anybody?
Well, I don't know.
You should, because let me tell you why. It could be a very simple issue. You remember, I'm told from time to time by my family and even the kids, careful, because remember, I see things and I get very worked up with the schools and what they're doing and things like that. It's like careful because your kids are in there. What you would want to do, you got to work with the teachers. Sometimes them don't know better. Remember, this is not something. This is not normal times. You're actually using a small camera that some kids are using the phone, and if you're using the phone and you see how they're doing the work, it's a pain. So I think in this sense here, in this particular case, what I would suggest that you do is try to engage that teacher and say, Miss so. If you don't see an improvement, you talk to the headmistress or the headmaster. And if that doesn't happen, you pick up the phone, you call the Ministry of Education. This is indeed the case. But in the first instance, I would say engage the teacher and let us see what happens from there. Because it could be something that maybe she needs to change her method. Remember, this is, if you have the kids in front of you, sometimes some teachers, they got their own different ways of teaching, then maybe it is, effective. But in this particular case, maybe she doesn't really realize the limitations of having the phone and the Zoom, the online, and so she doesn't understand what is happening there.
Okay. Yeah. You know, this thing about some tablet supposed to share. My daughter has four daughters.
Mm-hmm.
They're not very, they've been in Keenville.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how we could get things could get on.
We had shared out a couple. We found some really, and you would not believe it. I got a couple of people that I was able to get some tablets from, and we found some very, very poor people, some people who had access to internet via other people. So we were not able to give to the hinterlands. We were able to give more to the people out here because they have access out here to the internet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep you, must give me a call sometime, and I'm going to take it because we creating a database kind of, and whenever our good business people come on board, I would know how to, we know how to deal with that. But we have done some work. Of course, there's an overwhelmingly long list that we've been giving out. But we're going to keep that. So you're going to give me a call sometime and then, or send, you know what, send the information to 622-222 because we have a database that we've created. All right. All right. You could call to our switchboard 225-8491 and they would give you my number, and then you could probably call me and give me the thing, and I'm going to create put it on the list.
Okay.
All right?
I was concerning this hampers thing.
I don't know anything about hampers. They're not nobody. The government has put a halt on all the hampers for the 90-something thousand families until this $25,000 have been shared out.
We're taking long to see this thing.
Yes, so they're taking a little while. Maurice is a very big
Because
place.
we there regency and being, when you get.
Yes, yes, it is a big issue. People complaining.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
God bless you. Bye bye. So thank you very much, dear. So you're tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope that your spirits have been lifted. I did see a very good friend who's been tuned in to us all day. I want to say good day to Miss Janet. Miss Janet is a lady that would listen to us day in, day out, every single day, tune in to Kaieteur Radio. Very elderly person, but guess what? She's very upbeat, although her circumstances might not be the best. But she says, Gildarie, she saw me this morning and she was so happy. She says, I'm doing my thing, I'm getting my stuff done, and so and if she could do it, you can do it. I think can all do it for this country. We can't sit down and allow just the politicians. We all have to put our hands on the deck and say it is part of our job to ensure that we push somebody or we do it ourselves. And that's the way it's going to be done because we have to get leadership. We have to lead by example. And so whatever it is that we could do to encourage ourselves, encourage the people that are next to us, whether it be our teachers, our nurses, our medical personnel in the public system, whether it's just public servants or it could be a neighbor, if they've fallen in hard times, whatever words of encouragement that you could, you could say, that you could utter, do that. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing is creating that positive energy there. And I want to talk about positive energy because that is where we get up every single day. And you get up and you do the things every day. Make one person at least start with somebody, and let us. You may be in a situation that things are looking bad for you. Doesn't mean the end of the world. You're still breathing. There's tomorrow. You gotta have faith. You gotta have some kind of positive kind of thing going on there, and see how it goes. It might be difficult, and you're looking. Life is moving on for everybody. You don't know the challenges. You don't know what some people got to go through. You might look at Gildarie and everything is all nice and dandy. You don't know. I'm on vacation, but I have to do this. So it's at the end of the day, we have our duties towards the people of Guyana when it comes to ensuring that we fulfill our mandate. Your mandate to the rest of Guyana, as citizens of Guyana, is to play our part, and we don't have to be politicians. All of us can be politicians. We cannot all be nurses. We cannot all be doctors or teachers or reporters or radio hosts, whatever it is. But you could be a good neighbor. You could be a good citizen. You could keep your garbage in the yard. You could do whatever it is to clean your neighborhood. Everybody could play those roles. When you see tractors coming out from the Bagnam, you could stop by the trends here, take a bucket of water or two and throw it on the wheels. Do not drive onto the road just like that, because when you do that and then you complain, my community doesn't look good. It looks muddy on the road, and then a bike comes along and the bike pull brakes when it's wet and they slide on the mud that you would have left there. Who is responsible? You're responsible. And so it's good for for the eyes if you keep our community clean. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, voting started in the good old USA. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden there. What is happening with our people across there? I think the US, they pay very close attention. There's a hotly contested elections. Donald Trump, the man who's turned things on its head, and he is there, and he is in the mix of things, from COVID-19 to open his mouth and almost everything else. Is he going to lose this election? I don't know, but Guyana should be paying attention to that. So in the meantime, let's go straight back to the lines. Good afternoon, caller, you're on the air. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you're on the air. I think we would have lost that caller there. So very quickly, let's see what it is that the people are saying here. I'm from Hobu, East Bank, Esquibo. I would like for the government officials to be looking what's happening. I'm in this area. It's a big farming area, and with high tide, our farms and livestock were really affected. The area is not yet being managed by the NDC, but a ranger. And when we meet him, don't do anything. He just promised a machine to come dig the drain. I don't see any machine for months. So please, we need the agri minister to come out to the area and the people that put the government there. And so I'm going to send this to the minister as well. Let me see. I'd like normally to send them to come out to the Hubu area, the persons, the residents there are calling for somebody to visit them. Good afternoon to you, sir. I'm a patient at the Port Morant Hospital who's taken Monday medical treatment at the said hospital. A few months when I went to the clinic, the nurse said she can't find my medical treatment report, which I have to show to the doctor. After a long wait, she finally made a new one. However, when I went back another month, the nurse gave me back my old medical report. Um, Now, when I went to collect my treatment, the other nurses demand that I don't come to the clinic, that I didn't come to the clinic previous month, which I did. She's very rude. Most of these nurses are mostly on their phone. We're sick people and should not be spoken to in such a rude manner. This happens to a lot of other patients. Thank you very much. And you know, more and more people complain about customer service and the attitude over people. There are two sides to every story, but the fact is we expect so much more from the people who are delivering services. This is a Port Morant hospital. Got to do much, much better than that. It's not good enough that, you know, people complaining about our attitude. If we don't have enough medication, it's one thing. If we don't have enough resources, that's another thing. When we have poor services, that is icing on the cake there. Well, there's a wrong term to use here. That is disrespect to the people because you have sworn to give a service to the people. Good afternoon, Leonard. I have 3 grade students, but I was told that the teacher who have to add, I have 3 grade, I have a grade 3 student, but I was told that the teacher who have to add me to have my information, but up to now I'm waiting. Unfortunately, I made contact with another teacher, and she's sending me some work that I can co-op with the primary enterprise primary school, East Coast Demerara. Forgive me when I'm a little jumbled here, because some of the people that are writing, they're not perfect, but we have to bear with them. So bear up with us here. Hi, good afternoon. I have an issue. My daughter is attending the CCHS in Port Morant, and the trees and that trees are not appropriate. When you tell them, they say that it's Gaisuko owned, and when you meet Gaisuko, they say it's NDC owned. They need to come on. They need to get this thing fixed because during a ski time, I'm not sure what this is, but it said during a time a snake fell on a child, and that we are starting to have problems with the tree. So this is the Port Morant school there in Barbies, at the CCHS school there, and a parent is complaining about the overgrown trees and they want it cut. So we go back to the lines, 226-7453. Do we have another caller on the line? Good afternoon, caller, you on the air? Yes,
Hello?
good afternoon, caller, you on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How are you doing?
Pretty good, sir. Go right ahead.
I just wanted to say something. I was listening to your program when you was talking about your finale, and I saw it, the thing myself. You was asking for unity, for the people to unite. You know, I do some studies on this, and it was showing that the people who are working for $500,000 a month and over is basically getting everything free. They're getting free water, free electricity. When you divide 500,000 by 20 days a month that they're working, it's $25,000 a day. And the people who are working for $4,000 a day got to send 4 children to school, 2 at primary, 2 at secondary, and they got to find everything. If they want to enjoy the luxury of a car, they got to find the full duty. A man who is working for more money, he would get duty free. A man who is working for less money, how it is an advantage on the people. It is taking advantage on the people, and then at the same time, these people got to find money for mind the police, because every time you go down the road for something, the police are always there stopping you for getting something.
And there's a nice thing that you said there, that we're finding money to mind the police. Huh? That's something, you know, it doesn't go down so well.
You know, it's a sad watch. If you look at Mr. Chandas Prasad, one of the reasons why he would have voted against the government is because he felt the pain of the people. One of the reasons why Mr. Crawford would have behaved how he behaved, he felt the same way about the police behavior towards the people. And that's the reason why he behaved how he behaved. And somebody got to look into the injustice. Irfan Ali is a Muslim, and he got to look into the injustice of the people that the government is doing to the people. and whichever institution is doing injustice to the people. And if they try to remove that injustice from the people, then you will find the people would unite. But you just can't call out, oh, you come and unite just like that. It wouldn't work. You understand? It wouldn't work like that. So I'm hoping that somebody would get the message to him and let you know that people, if finally they went into government for 23 years, and if giving people house land and a house, make it easy for them to get a loan for their house and things, would have worked for the people that what they was doing for 23 years, they would have never come out of power. They start the same way again. They start thinking that, if they give these people house and house land, house lot and help them to get their own home, that, if this is what the people want. The people want to live when if the cries of the people be heard and you deal with it.
I want to ask you a question, Chief.
Yeah.
If I was to have the opportunity to talk to the president, what would you want me to say to him? You can't just say to him that what you're saying they won't work. What is it that he should do? What is it that I should say to him if I have to give him a message from you?
All right. I would love for you to explain to him that it is not fair for people who are working for huge sums of money, getting duty-free concession and free things in this country, when the ordinary man is struggling with $4,000 a day minimum, I put it, and then they got to find everything, and then you go forget a birth certificate, you get a rail run around, you got to bribe these people. You go to the immigration, is everything actually they push you around. You got to find excess money for give these people, and the people who get huge salary is enjoying everything. You think that certain people in this country, when they're driving down the road, you think the police will stop them and harass them? They recognize people. This man is working with the government. This man is the liaison man to the minister. He can go about his business. Even if they didn't recognize him, when they would stop him, the man would call the minister or some big man, and they'd call the police and say, let a man go. Is the small man suffering? Is the small man keep suffering all the time? And, sometimes I ask myself, why is it we take independence when we own people treating we like slaves in this country? You know what I mean? It is unfair. It is unfair. I wish if you could talk to the president and let you see, because he's a Muslim. Seriously, he's a Muslim too. And I don't like what's going on. I don't think when you're a Muslim and you're saying these things, you got to be careful what you're saying. When you say that, oh, we will unite this country, you got to use a word, inshallah. Inshallah means that it has to be by the will of Allah, not if you keep doing what you're doing and you keep doing injustice to the people wouldn't unite. They wouldn't find unity among the people. So I'm hoping that, if they're listening to this program, or if someday you get a word with him, you could yesterday I called you and I was talking to you about the police and how they treated me. And you said you didn't agree with me, but let me explain something to you. That this system needs to be fixed. If the police would have given me a ticket for the light, what the police would have done, he would have taken my vehicle and he would have told me I had to walk, go home. No, he would have given me the same vehicle to go home with. And that is the reason why I'm saying that he should have informed me that, sir, because honestly speaking, I didn't know that the light.
Right.
So he could have informed me, because he cannot take the vehicle from me. And he would ask me, well, I would found the vehicle and then you got to take something. After I put on the phone, people call me, which is some injustice. People was calling me who know me, and they said, if I should talk about the seatbelt story, on the ticket book there is no seatbelt, nothing for seatbelt. So when they stop you, you got to go to the station and they go put you on bail. It is unfair. You're not supposed to. These are offenses. Offenses, I don't know the law so much, but I know that an offense, traffic offense, you got to summons the man. If the man doesn't want to come, you don't get a ticket book to give the man the ticket. You got to summons the man. You take the necessary information from the documents and you send the man a summons to come to court. You can't tell the man and direct people to go to the station. And you see, people don't know their right, and that's one of the reasons why people have been bullied in this country.
Right, and you hit the nail on the head here.
Somebody needs to educate the people. Somebody needs to, like I said, you get the police complaint authority. Nobody doesn't know where the police complaint authority. Nobody doesn't know about the police complaint authority. People don't know their rights, and that's one of the reasons why the police is taking advantage of the people. And I'm glad if you.
I'm going to bring the traffic chief. I'm going to have him on the air here, and we're going to have a talk.
Buddy, it is unfair when I feel for people. I feel for people to know that you got to find this money every time you come out your house. police got to there. Look, I was coming down the road one day, I want to bring this last thing to you. My granddaughter was in the car. I made a mistake and I overtake on a turn, which they have a double line, but there was no double line. The paint fade out, right? The guy stopped me. And when he stopped me, he said that I did something that was wrong. I said, okay. He said, get your driver's license. I gave him the driver's license. Right in front of my eyes, the next vehicle do the same thing. When he stopped the guy and he see that the guy is from his ethnic group, the same race, he allowed the man to go away. And he telling me that I got to drive to the station. You know that thing affecting me granddaughter every day in her life when she go out on the road and she see the police is like, you know, I think that they're trying to intimidate Indian people, children from the tender age as they're growing up, that they must grow with this fear inside of them. Every time the little girls, we go out anyway and she see the police, it's like, Grandpa, look the police, look the police, you know. It's disgusting. I got to Trinidad more than 100 and something time in my lifetime or more, and I never just drive in Trinidad. Never see the police so much on the public road. And if I made a mistake, I make a mistake, and I explain to the policeman say, all right, you're free to go, but try not to make that again. Not in this country. It is unfair for the police being on the public road harassing people on a daily basis like this. The people need to go about their daily livelihood in a peaceful manner.
All right, I got you. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes, thank you very much. And it is not only across here. I constantly on a daily basis, people calling me and they're talking, they're complaining about the Essequibo Coast there, Region 2. I want to say good day to the folks down in Region 2, Essequibo Coast there, Supernam to the Pomeroon, to the Charity area there, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, wherever you join us from. And we did receive a number of complaints from that area there about a racket, and if you see what they're doing there and providing protection for all kinds of criminal elements, and there is a money making. It's never more evident in a close-knit community like on the Essequibo Coast. I think that was a point that really stuck out at me. It says, you know everybody business here. And it said when you look at it, we could see it, what is happening. Policemen pulling you over for the tint. And when you look at their vehicles, it is tinted. Imagine you have tint on the front windscreen. Right across the entire front windscreen, you put a tint on it. Who does that? And who allows that in this country? And the policemen have that. And even they were talking senior official, a female official across there in Region 2. Name the individual as being the moneymaker, the person who directs the other police ranks to go out on the road and do what they have to do. I presume across here there's going to be one head. Well, I'm waiting on them to stop me for some contrived offense that I would have committed. So let's get right back into some messages that we would have. Good afternoon. CXC registration is around the corner. Some students may not get subsidy for some subject they did not do well in based on the criteria for subjects. The Ministry of Education needs to address this because many families don't have food to eat, since subsidy should be given to all students, or many students might not be right in CXC next year. Thank you very much. I'm going to, of course, send this to myself again because, let me see here, 1 second. Yes, I'm going to send this to the minister, let her address this when they come on Friday. We are going to be questioning officials from the school, from the Ministry of Education there. I'm not sure who's going to be here, but whoever it is that comes, they're going to be telling us about schools reopening, in what format it's going to be, because we already know that schools have started for a number of students in secondary schools. And what is next on the program for that. So we are going to be talking about that. It's on the agenda. So thank you very much. Okay, let me see what they have here. Good afternoon to you, Leonard. I am happy to inform you of the recent developments. GPL came back yesterday in our road with 3 vehicles and about 12 personnel and began measuring out both Kaieteur and Raghunandan Sand Road to bring in electricity. I had the opportunity to interact with them, and the indication is clear that the progress is on the way for a speedy resolution to our electricity woes. I must say hats off to you, my brother, for making this a reality. Continue great work, my friend, with best regards. This is coming from Lal Bachchan C. Sankar. from the Laluni area, I think it is. Well, this is our job. We just raise it. I would send these messages to officials, including ministers, and let them act on it. Like yesterday, somebody complained about the second turn just over the Mahaika Bridge there about a dangerous pothole or something that's developing that is causing, it is creating a danger to commuters and drivers in that area there. And I did right away, immediately after the show, sent it to Minister of Public Works or Minister within the Ministry of Public Works to deal that in there. And he says, Gildarie, I'm going to send a team to that area there. So I think he's going to be looking into that. I would like to know. I think he says he's going to put a team on it right away. So you kind of like this when you see people telling us, that things are being addressed when we raise it with them. So might not be able to look at everything, but let's see. All right. So do we have another caller in line there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to say, finally I get you. Good job. I've been listening to the program since the start of the election, basically.
Yes, sir.
And I just called to address one thing really quick. Yesterday, you said something. Somebody called and make a complaint about some NDC or something, and you said, well, people can't. Something about people calling on Kaieteur most of the time. Anyway, long story short, the reason that people don't make complaints to the relevant authority is because the relevant authority don't do anything when you complain to them about whatever the problem is in the NDC, in your community, about the police, about the hospital, whatever the problem is. Whenever you go make a complaint, if you were making complaints and you were getting your solutions, then you wouldn't have to call anywhere else. You wouldn't have to go to the newspapers. You wouldn't have to go to social media. You wouldn't have to go to any one of these things if you were getting your problem solved when you were making complaints to the relevant authority. And that is why a lot of people calling to your program, this forum that you have, whereby people can voice their concerns about whatever is it. That's why people call so much and complain about whatever is it that is bothering them, because not that people don't want to go to these places. People want to go to the NDCs. People want to go to their representative and who represent the people, but you don't get any justice.
Well, let me answer this way. The reason why I do that, because I like to challenge people. For a long time, we laid back people. We're very reserved kind of people. We don't like fight and all them kind of things. I mean, you got one, two exceptions, of course, out there. What we're doing here is trying to raise awareness of people's rights, of what they could do. Because if you understand that every time elections come around, you are going to find people going to come knocking into doors and promise you the moon and the stars and things like that. And if you understand that you have that power, and that's my thing. I am bemoaning the fact that, this should not be. Why should it be that the people come into places like this and they can't go to the people who are supposed to be representing them? That is what I was complaining about, because that should not be. But I understand what you're saying there. I understand what you're saying there. But what I'm also saying I want to urge people to start being, this is what we've been doing, start educating yourself, starting, the guy was talking about a road license and things like that. Have you lost the call? Are you there, sir? Yeah, my apologies. I think we lost that. But to answer, cut it off. Yes, I apologize there. So, in essence, what we're saying there is not that we don't want you to call. In fact, that's what the show is about. But I'm just bemoaning the fact that, really these organizations, these entities like the NDCs and the GPL and the GT&T and everybody should be doing their work. I mean, you're going to have complaints, but not to the volume where they're basically saying the system is not working. You can't get through to a minister. You can't get through when you go, like this morning, for instance, I talked to Minister Colin Crowell. I received some pictures of many persons on the there, and he says, yes, Gildarie, we can't chase these people away. I said, I understand, but when you got people defying the social distancing thing, and you're in front there, and we've seen pictures of it, we have to tell to you that that's not right, because you're the ones who are the policy makers, and when you don't do it according to the law, then something is wrong. So he says, yes, Gildarie, we're going to try to see, but it's difficult. It's a challenge because we tell people, protect yourself, and the guards there are having problem at the Central Housing and Planning Ministry of Housing on Brickdam there to control the crowds who've been turning up. It's a big issue that is happening. But let me tell you very quickly, it's a CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. time. The better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. at 121 Regenton or Knox Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. And so that's the CARICOM General Insurance Company Inc. I want to say good day to the folks across there. So I think we could read two more messages, go back to the lines again and see what our people are saying. Hi, good afternoon, sir. I'd like to say thanks to all the Diamond people, special needs school teacher, for the good works that has been going on there for the children. Yes, I happen to know about that special needs school there, and we had gone there, and a very a positive set of people there. Whenever I go there and see the kids that come from all over that they've been working with and so on. And the teachers are doing a fantastic job there. I want to say good day to you right in Diamond there. And one of these days I'm going to drop by there again. But they're very nice people. We have some good people, wonderful people in our country. Let me see. Hi, Leonard. I'm from Coverdale, East Bank, Demerara. There's no regard for the COVID-19 non-stop party every night. Coverdale, East Bank, Demerara. What is happening there? You guys need to take care. The death toll is climbing. It's 116 deaths now since March. Some people who don't believe this is real, ask the families for these people here. Ask the family of that businesswoman from Bel Air. Ask right in the Coverdale area there. I think there's a big businessman that died, had a trucking, I can't remember his name, had a big trucking company, and he's died. So you guys got to be very careful, protect yourself. Hi, Leonard. I want to know if you guys are still sharing the tablets. We don't have any at the moment, but we are. And so if you guys, like I said before, you have a need, to send it to us and we put it there. And when we have, we're going to choose those families that are most in need. We have a way of doing that. This is for October 21st. Yes. Good afternoon. I listen to you every day. I have a little problem. I don't know if it's true, but I heard in Wakenham, the police station there, they're not giving out passes to keep weddings. Somebody's getting married in December. Could you please assist? I want to know. Keep up the good work. We already prepared for my daughter's wedding in December. The wedding, I think there's some strict regulations with regards to who could be present, even like a funeral. You can't have more than a certain number. At a funeral, I think it's about 10-person max, including the priest and the immediate family members or family, whoever, or friends. But you can't have more than 10. In a particular case of a wedding, I think there should be something. But passes for wedding, I'm not sure what you mean passes for wedding. I need to understand, does it include music and those kind of things, big dancing? You need to give me some more details so I could be able to ask what is happening in Wakenham there. You guys keep texting me or call me or something. Good afternoon, bro. I'm a guy and he's living in Venezuela. I listen to your program every day. Good day to you in Venezuela. We don't often have a lot of people in Venezuela talking to us. And I need help from you. I need a job. I don't know plenty. I can operate heavy-duty machinery and drive trucks, but I don't have a driver's license because I live on the west side. You know what? It is a good day today. I'm going to have to call somebody here. I'm going to have to call somebody and let them talk to us and see whether we could give this guy a job somewhere. So I'm going to send this to myself and see what I could do for this gentleman here. Maybe we get something. Stand by. Maybe you're going to get a call from me too. So we go back straight into the line. So we have a caller there. Good afternoon, caller. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. How are you, sir?
Pretty good, sir. Go right ahead.
I'm calling from Diamond.
Diamond, yes.
Right. What I noticed I said last month, I see them dug all the drains in Diamond in the low income. But you have a trench at the northern side of Diamond. It's cluttered up, and that's the main trench when on the northern side of Diamond, when the rain falls to take the water off. the land.
Which side is that? I mean, that's behind the banks?
No, that's in Diamond scheme, in the scheme.
Uh-huh.
But they got all the drains them, well done, but they are the main trench at the northern side of Diamond scheme.
There's the one that runs from east to west.
That's right. And that trench is blocked up terrible. And that's the main trench. And now we have dry weather. Now, they dig all over inside the inner skirt and outer skirt, but that back trench, now, with the wind start for, what do you think will happen? The water will left back in the land. And because you have no access anymore for the water to go out, and the authority can look into it, the NDC.
All right, did you raise it with the NDC there? Call Guyana.
No, sir.
Cool. Okay, you hear what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Call the NDC. I can't remember. I think it's 265. I can't remember the number at the top of my head.
Okay.
Ask to speak to the overseer or to the chairperson. I think it's Gita Ramnarayan there.
Okay.
And just say that you've spoken to us. She's a very approachable person.
Okay.
And just say, look, you guys missed this area here. Could you do something? Most of those, I think, one of the most one of the most interactive NDCs that I've had, not because I live in that area there, but because I know how they operate, has been the Diamond Grove NDC. They listen. They might not find solutions all the time, but they give you options. So it's a good thing. Let's start talking to them because that's what we have to do. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, and you have a blessed. I'm a regular listener to your program since election time.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you very much.
Day.
Yes, you too.
Thank you. Bye.
So good day to the folks down in the Diamond Grove area, wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing. I want you to have a blessed day. And so we're joined by so many persons today. Steve Reese was back from yesterday. The teacher, I think this is a funny one. Gail Bacchus, Karen Smith, Inti Muhammad, Tara Jagdeo, R.M. Singh Singh, Nanda Prasad, Chandrapal Hemraj. Is that our cricketer? I think he is, yes. A good day to you, my dear friend. This guy, he is a tremendous cricketer, big hitter in the T20, I think the CPL. If it's the same person, I think it is. I want to say good day also to Kush Chowbey, Doris Dairam, Gail Bacchus again, I guess I see you. And so if I miss you guys, just bear with me. Jeff Mohan and the rest of them, Julie Latchman, wherever you guys are joining us from, Rubina, RNJJ. Good day to everybody who's joined us today. So let's go back to quickly before we go back to the lines here very quickly. Let me see what we have here. Good afternoon. My issue is with the distribution of the COVID relief money for the 25,000. This is in Berbice at North Village. This is number 0 Village quarantine. When the distribution clerk came to my house, I asked about what happens to household with multiple families. I'm living in a household with multiple families. The clerk told me that it's one per household, but when I told her that the vice president said something different, that we should fill out a pink form and then some verification will be done, she rudely answers, nah, sir. Okay, I just say, that's me saying. The person wrote, she rudely answers as nah, sir, is one for house. I told her that I have to verify the information. She again replied, do what you want. If this is indeed the case, this is totally unacceptable. It's Ministry of Finance officials as well as officials within the region. Well, let me tell this person, whoever sending us this message here, that you have a right. The president says every household. Now the only thing is if there's multi families or more than one family living in that household, you have to fill out an application, and the NDC people are going to come around, I understand, and they're going to verify and you're going to get your money. So it's been a couple of days, so just bear in it. The fact is they are going to give it out, but it is totally unacceptable for any worker that is in the area to be talking to people like this. This is not good. This person went on. The distribution clerk is telling other people that it will cost people not to benefit from the relief, and on the other hand, they're distributing to other households without verifying. I've spoken to the council for the village who has promised to come visit and take my details, but nothing as yet. Whoever this person is, please get on to your NDC. Tell them that you talk to Kaieteur Radio, Kaieteur News, and that they have indicated that you speak to the NDC in the area to bring these people back for you to be able to, for you to be in the takings of this $25,000. That's what I could say to you. And this is totally unacceptable. Good afternoon. Let's talk about Victor Singh showing up at people's house and threatening them to say that we in charge in the ministry vehicle. I want to say the only person in charge is God. I'm not sure who is Victor Singh and where is he turning up. I'm not sure what this person is talking about here. Hi, you folks awake? Yes, we're very much awake. We're talking things here to wake you. It's the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. Let me see what else they have for the people of Guyana here. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I'm from Region 2. The GRA sub-office has not reduced any of the taxes that the government had slashed, which was supposed to be in effect from October the 5th, 2020. So who's lying, GRA or the government? Ah, man. I'd have to find out what is it if this thing goes into effect. It's retro. So because back and forth. I'm gonna try to get Mr. Anand or somebody on this phone here. Let's try for tomorrow and have him spare us a couple of minutes. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Friday, I'm gonna try to get him for a couple of minutes. Let me see what else is happening here. Yes. Okay. Good. So that person say thank you from Borbies with regards to that 25,000. Hi, Mr. Gildarie. Pleasant afternoon to you. Keep up the good work you're doing. I'm kindly asking if you know when CSEC result will be out, so we'd be able to collect it from the school. You could get it online. You're talking about the actual printed form. I'm gonna have to ask. Let me ask. CXC. What is happening? CXC QC. So we go back to the caller there, 226-7453. Yes, good afternoon, caller, you on the air? Okay, we missed that one there. I'm going to have to find out about that. I've surrendered my national ID card and driver's license to NBA Rosignol as my ID. I lost my wallet with all my documents. When I produced my driver's license to transact a withdrawal, I was told I can't do business with the license. I'm a pensioner. I had to borrow to survive. And this is at NBS. The person says at NBS, not NBA. As of now, the Bank of Guyana, and if you have this issue here, sir, you should know that the Bank of Guyana had this is an issue we discussed not too long ago. The Bank of Guyana has issued a statement to the public and saying that it can be used as a form of identification that you could that you can do business with a license. You can. The Bank of Guyana is saying that you can. So you're going back to the bank and let me know how this all works out, because I'd be interested to know if any financial institution would dare say that they're not listening to the Bank of Guyana. I would like to know that. And so you guys put it to the test. Let's put it out there. We need to start putting it out there whenever people are doing things that is contrary to what the law says. Hi, good afternoon to all of you wonderful people at Kaieteur Radio. Good afternoon to you too, whoever it is. Good afternoon to you, my brother. I want you to keep up the good work, but we're not hearing nothing about the Escobar Coast. We're not getting no help for this country. Yes, I think Region 2, Region 3, Region 4, and 5, those are the regions that's right on stretching on the coastlands, are the ones that are now being tackled. I think they're in Region 6 at the moment, and I think the authorities haven't said anything, but they said they're coming there next. So we go back to the line, 226-7453. Yes, good afternoon, caller on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Brother Gildarie.
Good afternoon, sir.
I can't yesterday when I get to Friday again, I was speaking to you about the NDC, and I sprayed on some bushes in the drain and person throwing garbage. So I went, after you spoke, I went to the NDC Saturday. When I reached there, I heard the gapping in the boardroom. So I asked the secretary if I could restart the manager. Said,
and this is which NDC again?
And more.
And more NDC, yes.
Yeah. So the girl said, in there, they must have meeting. But they gapping about this thing and that thing. Anyway, one man come out and he said, man, somebody wait upon y'all out there. He said, I tell you, come in. When I go, I see the chairman for the NDC is a man named Tiwari, who well know me, and I well know him. Mm-hmm. He is an executive worker at GAU.
Yes.
GAU represents the Kumar Chan. Mama Ali man, I know you, man, Ali, I know you. So I start talking to the man, telling the man the problem. before I finish, he said, man, he pushing himself and said, man, you always me know you like talk, you like talk. That me like talk. Me say, man, what me like talk? What make you not like me? And you are the man that here what stop me from getting my laptop. When your laptop in a share, that you got give me a laptop, but me come you see now about the area. He said, but them not there in the area fully. But they had a meeting where them come and met Bridges and so in the area. And he tell me now that he never responsibility in the area. This man here, you know why he don't like me? When I was a representative, they were selling the Gahoo paper once a month for $5 for one. And if you not buy one of the paper from the representative who was selling paper, you now representative got a problem. Because you write your name down who buy. $5. So one day I went to the meeting as a representative with Kumal Chan. And I asked Kumal Chan about the matter about the $5 for the paper. Kumal Chan said yes, that the $5 print on the paper is not for sale, it's the print, what they pay $5 for print the paper. This man, but this man sell this paper, and he did work.
So in essence, what you're saying that there's a history with this gentleman.
Yes, and sir, I want this Charandas to come, Mr. Charandas. That man is a great man. If he could come and be one union representative for the worker, them at Gao, Gaisuku. Let me tell you something. You know when me come to you and tell you about me getting a car and show all them people?
Yeah.
Sir, now a man show me, one police officer show me. He said me supposed to be get a statement before the case. Carl, for me to know about that, sir, honestly, you know when the matter come to a deadlock, then the representative will bring the hearing, will bring them statement and give me, and I have this statement. I think we will show it, but you must you can't remember it.
Yeah.
So I mean, know if you can able help me with that part.
All right. I'm gonna probably make contact with me next week, and we can probably see what we could do with it.
You know, I'm epilepsy.
No problem,
And
Chief.
people don't want me to work when we get them things. You understand? And
Maybe what you need is public assistance.
well, then I said they're not give for that.
Then I get for that?
No.
That's a strange one.
Man, you know. Me
I can talk to
them.
the minister about that. I'm not sure about that. I think if you have a physical disability that allows it, the mere fact that you can't work because of your condition, it's an issue. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out about it. All right?
So, but this point what I tell you about, but this guy at this NDC, he working at Gahoo office.
Ma'am,
He's a
you understand?
pensioner,
But
and he
hold
working
on. All
there
right.
too. And he working there too, sir. And
Well, I'm
people
not
want
sure
them.
whether it's a conflict of interest. I'm going to have to find out about that. What's the point? That he's working there, you complain that he's working there, and he should not be working at Gao as well as holding that position?
Oh, sir, Minister said about one Mr. When young people want to work, he's a pensioner.
Well, I'm not sure how that works, whether somebody, after they become a pensioner, if they can't hold a position politically or so that's a political position.
Sir, well, let me tell you something. When Gahoo Farmer Credit Union, I born in it. I used to sign a farm for the workers them to be in the credit union. Then them bring one farm, they got to pay 1%, 3% interest for the money. They start to rob the people. So when them people just come back in, the sugar workers them come back to their state, that will rob them. When the workers them get 5%, them want 5% union use too.
Call me next week, and let us see whether we can make some calls and see what happens.
So let me call you on your cell.
Yes, you have my cell next week.
I'm going to call you on your cell.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gildarie.
Thank you. So that is coming all the way there from Enmore. And what I could tell you that sometimes we forget about Region 10 because, I want to say good day to the folks down there. And, of course, that's another region that I did miss, and Steve did point out what happened to Region 10. And, yes, Steve, Region 10, sometimes it slipped Gildarie, so I can't think of everything. But Region 10 is an area also that the government has to go to. It's a big area, in terms of of the areas in which the pockets of our communities are. So you have the Linden, which is the Wismar, Mackenzie area inclusive of that. Then you have Aichuni, Kwakwani along that way there. So it's a pretty big area, but I don't think it's more than maybe couple thousand there, but I think they could get that with over very quickly if they look at it. But it is so it's region 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10 are the ones that they need to tackle next. So it's basically the coastline area as well as region 10. So we go back to the line. Do we have another call there? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Go right ahead.
I just want to make a point before I get to my real point. The point is, this COVID-19 is challenging for everybody, and for students, teachers, and parents. And the online classes is tough on everybody, so we need to cut a little slack. But one of the things that parents need to adjust to is that they need to spend a little more time with children.
I'm losing you there, sorry. I'm losing you.
So one of the things that parents have to adjust to is spending a little more time with their children because the teachers are not there. It is tough. So I know some teachers who are complaining they got 20 children and only 3 in the online classes. Some of it is because of economics. Some of it is
Yes.
not everybody can afford to fit into this program.
Right.
And I can say for sure that I know on the West Bank, I don't know on the West Coast, teachers are preparing the ministry print to give to the children. Nobody's trying to sell it over there. I heard somebody said that yesterday.
Yes, somebody did raise that issue. They said they're charging $1,600.
No. Right. At least for the primary schools in the West Bank,
Uh-huh.
the teachers are preparing it and they're making dates and for the parents to come. The problem is the parents say they're going to come and nobody's showing up. 1 parent, 2 parents showing up. And so it's not a case of teachers not being there and are not having this stuff. The government has made it available. The teachers have picked it up. Some of them have started out for each class so when the children come, but people are not showing up. As the lady said yesterday, we used to like to talk. We have developed an attitude of complaining about everything not playing our part. And in this challenging time, as the same as it's challenging for the government, it's challenging for us. Just like the government has to go an extra mile, we as the people have to go an extra mile. And we are not doing that. And the problem with the police, we can change how many commissioners we want. I remember a young fella that I used to do some counseling with. He joined the police force from Region 3. And one morning, when I was out on the road, I saw him carrying in a line. When I say a line, about 40 cars for breaches. Because he was young, he doing his job. And one of them told him at the bridge, he told me afterwards, better take your raise, because when we go, so we can only pay more, but we can get loose. And all 40 cars got loose. You know what he's doing now? Taking a raise. Because when he did his job and went in there, whoever was in charge of traffic took a bigger raise and freed the people. So it is indeed. I know police officers who are told by the head of traffic in whatever station it is, must bring in lunch and they got to throw some box. How do you think these police picking this up? And there's no lie and no making up. I know this for a fact. And one of my friends at the police told me that the problem is not to change the commissioner, it's with the training school, which is apparently he's saying to me in training school, there's certain things that are taught to you that is instilled in you, and something has to be done. If we cannot worry with the commissioners, we can make the training school, bring some international people to train the police. Let the police be Guyanese, but let somebody train them because something is wrong in the system. Everybody is looking for a raise, and that is wrong. And yes, some people may see it as that they're targeting the Indian, but I don't believe police go out on the road so they're targeting the Indian.
I don't think so either. I don't think so.
Yeah, but
they're making a raise, though.
But there are officers who tell them they have to bring in a raise, and that is a fact. There's no lie about that. And when the president talk about unity is not something you just talk about. Unity is a lifestyle. So the person that is coming to talk to any person in this country with unity has to demonstrate it. And all the political, I don't want to say all, PNC and PVP has not demonstrated unity in the 50, 40 years, however long they've existed. It is always race politics. So that's why that guy and I talked about Mr. Yog and you. It's not that we would say Mr. Yog got no life to live, as the lady said. But we needed people like him who was dedicated themselves to unity in this country, to rightness, to justice. Because we can't wait to the politicians. We all know how they stay. But we need people in this nation to rise up to do these things. And we had a little hope on Mr. Yog. We know he got your life to live and Joe, but that's what we meant.
I will talk to him tonight and see what we can happen.
All right, boss. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, dear. And so right. I would go even a little farther than that gentleman there and says it's not only a few people. I think it should be on the onus of everybody in Guyana to start, being responsible, start changing the culture, the attitude, or discipline in this country here. Let's start pushing for it. It's the only way that we could see some changes. And so, did somebody say Miss Yog? It's not Miss Yog, it's Mr. Yog, Dr. Yog Mahadio. How are you doing, sir? Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing today in the snow, that we paying attention and we are praying for you. As a chairperson there of the Guyana National Newspapers Limited, I hope next year or so I will not be using the word rag when I come around you, because you're going to take it as an offense. Well, whatever it is that you're doing, know that your brother is across here and he's been joined by another brother right now. W.R. Riaz, what has it been like for the day?
Of course, good day to all the listeners. And yes, to Mr. Yog, Dr. Yog Mahadio and his rag. I hope that
No,
rag...
you can't say that. You got to have respect. Have respect for the doctors.
No, I'm getting to the respected part.
Right.
I'm hoping that the rag will develop into a well-balanced papers at the end of the day. And with Dr. Mahadio there, he will add his influence on a positive note. That's me troubling him and then complimenting him at the same time. It's busy outside, and then I see some work is happening outside at Kaieteur there too. So most of the vehicles have removed from that little corner. There's some construction or something, probably maybe it's a Christmas tree Uncle Glenn putting up. I don't know. I don't know. When I said it's a Christmas tree, probably could have raised Rajpi and Europe as well. And no fight with the Christmas tree.
I don't even want to go there, man. He saw me yesterday. And
he saw you with his mustard shirt.
That's Mr. Glenn Lal. He didn't say not a word to me. He disappeared. A good day to you, Mr. Lal, wherever you are. I think that you were very busy, but I'm a man of eternal hope, and I have a lot of hope in you, and I have a lot of faith in you. So don't disappear. But we do happen to have some numbers, some messages here. I'm interested. Let me see what I have here. Hi, Leonard. I was born in Guyana, but I live in Canada and I want to apply for a house lot in Guyana. Could you please text me the website to apply for the lot? Thank you very much and keep up the good work and bless you. If you're listening, it is try to see it. I think Central Housing.
CPHC dash.
Okay, CPHC
dash gov.gy.
That's gov.gy.
Yeah.
All right, I sent it to that person there, and so
I have great respects for persons in the diaspora. You are living there. You've been living in the diaspora for donkey years.
Mm.
You left Guyana when all the things the bad, and I say this with the best of respect. Y'all don't fight up. Y'all weren't here for the dull days. Why are you fighting on the bright days? And some person will be annoyed with me saying that, but first option to the people who's been living here. That's my view.
Thank you very much for that. Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Just want to let you know that my uncle received his replacement ID card this morning. This person would have said that his uncle or the uncle was waiting his ID card since before election, and they got it this morning. I'm not sure whether it had anything to do with us. Good day, Mr. Gildarie. Guess the day has been going well for you so far. I just want you to know that with regards to the caller who mentioned with the jungle being CCHS, Quarantine Comprehensive High School, in Free Yard, Port Morant, neighbor to the Gaisuko Training Center. It is true, a snake fell on a student during a lesson time, and it's also true that we encounter daily visits of snakes in our teachers' classroom, staff room. We have explored and exhausted all possible avenues of having this forest be cleared. I'm asking kindly if you can please look into this. I recommend the relative authority does not look at this unbearable sight of a teacher, but have it be bulldozed. Thank you very much. I'm going to send this to the minister again, Minister of Education, Priya Manik-Chan. I know she's very, very quick. She says, Gildarie, when you're sending me stuff like Susan Rodriguez, send me the complete thing with numbers and so I can act on it. Like apparently,
I think that also could fall under Minister Dharmalal's portfolio too.
Could be.
I am making that an average guess that it could
I
fall
think
under him.
public infrastructure too, because they have responsibilities
Yeah,
for
so there are a
public buildings.
variety of agencies as it is, but I think that local government minister may want to act on that a little bit more on from how I heard that what you just read.
Yes. So I'm gonna deal with this. How many folks are there in the diaspora? Anyway, we could call it. We could call in via WhatsApp. No, you can't call in via WhatsApp. You're not talking. Thank you, bro. God bless you and your family. Let me see what else they're saying here very quickly before we go back to the line. Leonard, that man Tiwari is a no good person. If he don't like you in your area, get him back, looked after. He needs to be moved from that position. And this is the NDC chairman in Enmore. Two sides to every story, but I'm just reading it here. We don't have any political affiliation. This radio here, this newspaper that we have here, we have our mandate to the people of Guyana. Hi Leonard, could I qualify for a TIN number if I'm overseas? If so, if there's any online access to get it?
No.
I'm not sure how this happened. There's a registration process, and you'd have to look at the GRA website. Visit the GRA website.
You have to be living here with proof of address and all of that to be registered. There is a chance for it to be registered. Under what context do you want a TIN number for Guyana and you're living in the U.S.?
Gotta get some more information.
Yeah, we can't go and get a social security number or a SIM, which it is called in Canada. We just can't walk in and open a bank account in the US or Canada as it is. So think that you're living there instead of thinking out of the box. Not because you're Guyanese, but you left Guyana for a very long time. And you have to understand that there are rules and there are laws and there are policies that you have to follow at the end of the day. Not because you're Guyanese, but you leave maybe a very long time ago that you're entitled or you must or you can. There are policies and rules and regulations just like any other country. Just like any other country.
Thank you very much, dear. Do you know how much it is for a PCR test at the airport in Guyana, planning to come in to do a per business trip in December? Do we know how much it's charging?
I heard a rumor of a figure, but I wouldn't want to confirm that figure because honestly I don't know. But let me advise that person to do the test before.
No, if
getting
they
into
come,
Guyana.
if you come and you're
You're late. It's somewhere between 20 and 25,000.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah. It's between that from what I gathered is somewhere between 20 and 25,000 between that ballpark here. So between 100 US and 110 US.
I'm gonna talk to the CGIA CEO Ramesh Gear. I want to say good day to the folks down there and get some clarifications from him. Do we have a caller online? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air.
Go right ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Go right ahead.
I'm speaking to Gildarie.
Yes, yes, you're speaking to Gildarie and you are on the air.
Yes, sir. I got calling from Enmore.
Enmore, yes.
Haslington.
Mr. Tom?
Haslington.
Oh, Haslington, okay.
Yes. And this is next to the sugar estate.
Yes, I know that area.
Yes, good. We are farmers here. This is an agriculture area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for 7 years now, we are not getting water to carry on our agriculture crops because Kaieteur back up the water and it's a big dam, so we can't get no water come in the farm. All the catch crop, nobody doing catch crop, some people abandon the land and they leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So we need the agriculture minister to come in and have a word with us, and we will take him around and show him what is the problem. Because we are not getting no water for our farm, and all our fruit trees are dying out.
Did you raise this issue with anybody at all?
Well, I raised it with Kaieteur before they close. I raised it after they close. Now they carry high a big dam by in the previous government.
All right, here what?
Nobody. We raised it at the NDC.
All right, here what I'm gonna do. Here what I'm gonna advise you to do. I'm gonna give you a number here, and you got a very, very active Minister of Agriculture. This guy is busy. Yes, this guy is very, very busy.
Yes.
He's busy doing the people's job. At least that's what I found. Whenever I call him, he always answers or he call back a little later. But you call the Minister of Agriculture office and ask to speak somebody. This is Zulfi.
Yes.
I think everybody know him as Zulfi, Minister
Yeah,
Zulfi.
I know him. I know
Yes.
him.
227 5049.
Sir, I had another problem before you close.
Sure.
In the same area here, we got a cow man who mine over 100 head cow. And he carry this cow every day, morning and in night he bring it back. Walking it on the road where we have small children, we have car breaking up people's cars and so on, and you carry it in the cane field, Kaieteur place.
Mm-hmm.
And I graze it the whole day. And I bring it out night time, and you can't get on the road when I'm fast. They take over the whole road. The police are doing patrolling. They have to stop and wait until all this cow then come up on the area. So we need Kaieteur to have a look at this. The new management. I was trying to get to the new management.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to the office there, the security said that Ida Borby is not come here yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we are holding on to see if we can see the manager to have a word with him.
All right, no problem. So you got a number there, 227 5049, and
Yeah.
take it from there. Let me know how it goes.
All right, sir. I'll call you back if anything.
Thank you very much, dear. Good.
Okay.
So, Becky Etwaria, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And she is raising the issue. Riaz, I paid my taxes for 27 years. Am I entitled to apply for a house lot? But before I hand you over to Riaz, what I could tell you, under the previous PBP government leading up to 2015, on the East Bank of Damara, they introduced what you call a remigrant scheme.
Correct.
I happen
Correct.
to have at least one friend that I know, and I think a
Yes.
cricketer had gotten a piece of land there too, and he's built a massive house on it. So I think, I'm not sure whether under this government what are some of the plans. Maybe I'd have to get something. They're now going through what needs to be done, what's available lands or so. But there is a possibility that while you might be overseas, that you might be eligible for a remigrant house lot. Where this house lot is going to be, whether there's still any available in Providence or elsewhere, I don't have those information. But over to you.
Good. I will echo the same sentiments that you've mentioned. Glad that you paid 27 years of taxes. Kudos to you on that. Yes, I am not aware, or I have not heard as yet, because the government is still new in terms of their infrastructural plans. But I know of remigrant schemes. I know of remigrant schemes even prior to the coalition administration as well. So I would want to not give myself liberty, but I would want to think that that something like that will be planned as it is. But I'm assuming that I would advise, again, go to that website for Ministry of Housing. But under that context, once there is that remigrant scheme and everything like that, I think yes, you once you provide the relevant information and detailings and all of that, there will be a due process for it, of course. You could qualify at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, there, Riaz. And so, with regards to the question as to what the cost for the COVID-19, somebody is saying it's $25,000. Somebody writing here. Still got to get it verified. But
Yeah, I heard that too. It'd be somewhere between 20 or 25,000. But
25,000. But
this was not a confirmed source. It was that's why I said it before. Rumor I heard, because I heard it was a sort of figure somewhere around that.
very good. So let me see. I'm not sure.
Of course, you'll have to wait between. There's a time limitation between 2 to 8 hours. You could get it long before that, but that's the window that you have to wait as well. Between 2 to 8 hours when the test is completed, you have to remain at the airport in an isolation area whilst you await the test results.
Thank you very much. Hi, sir. Good afternoon. When someone sold this country wealth out for next to nothing, like what two gentlemen did, they put the name of the person, but I got to be very careful here. Then Guyana should stand up and they demand what they do not hold public office in the future. This gentleman should be disbanded from public office. He should never be making decisions for this country again. Also, former president should never lecture anyone about corruption again. And we can't hide these things. These are comments being made by the people. Like I said before, we don't have any political affiliation. We don't have a constituency with which we cater for. This is an independent radio and a newspaper as well. Hi, Leonard, Riaz. This is Riza, the Cali Riza. Now, could you send me some website to apply for a house lot? I'm currently living in Florida and would love to return home. You could tell them
cphc.gov. CPHC.
No, it's CH.
CH Central Housing and Planning. Let me get my phone to get this precise thing again. Let me get it. I get my phone charging. Once again, I have the info right here. Yes, let's go. I wrote it yesterday for that gentleman all together, and I will get it for you. In the meantime, you're paying attention to what's happening in the Gulf of Paria, Leonard?
No, what was happening there?
The Gulf of Paria, the boat that is...
Oh, yes. Has it gone down?
It hasn't gone down, but it's going down.
No. That's a situation. They need to fix it. Well, why they not making at least some attempts to move those stuff out there?
Well, according to a picture that I saw on Instagram, I don't know how... I'm thinking it's accurate from the source where I saw it. Oil is now in the floor bed of the boat.
So that means that any leakage or anything is right into the water. We gonna probably have. Okay. I don't understand why somebody didn't take actions there.
Yeah, but so that is what is happening as it is with that.
Well, in the meantime, you come on there. Let me tell you very quickly a comment here, Mr. Gildarie. I heard lots of complaints about the chairman of NDC and councillor. However, these people are not paid. They have their full-time job to earn for themselves and time to do their community. They cannot be sitting all day. You want them there, pay them. They do more work than members of parliament, and they receive a little pittance. I have an issue with this one here. I understand what you're saying there, but you see, when you go and you put yourselves out as councillors and as chairperson, and so I happen to know people like the firearm licensing board chairperson and all those things. When you sit in there, Yog Mahadi is sitting as chairman for the Guyana National Newspapers Limited, the publisher of Chronicle. What you believe they're getting paid? They don't get paid. What you get is a little pittance. I think it's what you call a stipend. So I think the issue that we have here is, what are you willing to commit after you would have asked the people to vote for you? Because when you go in there, service. It's all about service. So it's an issue that we consistently have to ask. Should we pay persons in public office, when I say public office, not as a minister, as an executive person there, but when you have persons that are sitting on these various communities, serving your community, should you be paid for it? That's an issue that we probably have to discuss, because it's a lot of work. I know. They say expect a response in 5 business days, over 3 months and no feedback. Incompetence at the best. And this person is saying that I applied for a house lot online. I'm from Canada. The application is over 3 months, and the CHMPA never responded. You got to understand. I'm not sure if this is just before the election process.
chpa-.gov.gy.
Okay, so go back to that again.
chpa.gov.gy.
And so they go there and just follow.
Go there, and 3 months is a very short time, whoever that person is. You have to understand.
No, they're saying they did not even get an acknowledgement.
The current government is not even in power 3 months.
Right. So I think this would have taken, they say 5 days, over 3 months. Well, this is a problem that we have here, that they need to fix the CHMPA issue here. Hi, Mr. Gildarie. Pleasant good afternoon to you. How are you? Well, we'd like also to know when we get in our new solar, or when we get in our solar panels ministry. We'd have to deal with solar panels as well. The PM. Yes. Do we have another caller there very quickly? Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Yes, caller. Good afternoon. We don't have that right now. There's a PM on the solar. I'm going to send them a message. I need to talk to Anand, Attorney General. Bring him on the show here. So let's see what happens.
Have you seen this part that they stop giving money to child beggars by Miss Anne Green?
I have some issues. I have some issues, and let me put it this way. She made a statement, if I could recall, which says, be very careful. You don't want to basically push a particular thing that, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I have an issue. I would pass along these bank there, and I draw a parallel here, and you would see kids selling, like I think one in Diamond there, dog food. And they're sitting there, and during the holidays or when there was no school, so that person is there. In America, in all over the place, if you want to earn some money, that you would do. But when you don't have, especially we would have had a lot of people dying, people being murdered, accidents, and there's a lot of hardship. This pandemic has brought out some poverty that we would not. You would hear some stories. I could tell you, if I tell you some stories that I've heard, what children, and I talk to the parents, I say, you're a young girl, children or whatever, do not send them out on the road, because a lot of stuff that could happen out there, and it bothers me. But to come back to the point, what do you say to a parent who has nothing in her house, or they have nothing in the house, and the children, and maybe you might not believe it, they might not even be a parent there. We have children looking after children right now. So there's a whole another story there. I might not necessarily agree, because I think each case might be different. We have people on the roads begging all over the world. Do we have another caller there?
Ray Singh, I support your view. Ram Singh, I support your view on that. I do. That that you're assisting your family is in Guyana and your heart is in Guyana. I am very aware of that. I have lots of friends who's like that. But I may beg to differ in some cases that let us say I will prefer. And this is for this gentleman, Ram Singh. I will prefer you to try to let your family who's living here get that house lot before you gets it. That is my point. That is the point that I make in the beginning as it is. So yes, I would love for Guyanese to come home. Lots want to come home now. You come, you invest in the country. It's fine. But my thing is that I will tell that person made the comment, let your family, if they don't have the house lot, let them get it ahead of you. If you're better off and you're already claiming in this thing that you're sending thing for your family. So you've already make a point to me that, well, on an assumption on that, my family is depending on me for something. So why do you want to come build a house? Why don't you assist them to get it over you? That is my point. As it is that I'm trying to...
I think maybe they could be... There's a lot of people who are thinking of coming back. Don't underestimate the amount of...
I would love for Guyanese to come back and invest. And this government is talking about let Guyanese come back and invest. So I'm not against this. I'm simply saying, if you're probably retired in the U.S., you want to come back home sometime, that's fine. I talk to people every day that they say, they want to come back home. But my thing will be, yes, they'll probably, you want to come back, you build a house, you'll create jobs because you're building houses and that's okay. That's not a problem. But my first thing is let the people who's living here as a priority option.
We have to look at it. There's a variety of things. I think that's why I think the now president here, finale, when they were looking at a number of measures, that's where the remigrant scheme came into.
Yes, I welcome the remigrants. I welcome them to Guyana. They want to come build a house, it's okay. Because you'll obviously have to pay tax for that house. You'll have to pay water rates. You'll have to pay rates and tax. It's okay. I'm not trying to deter you not to come. But my point is, like what that person said, well, we send things to family in Guyana. Why don't you allow that family to build a house if they don't? Ahead of you. That's all I'm saying. Not saying that you're not entitled or you can't come home and build a house. No, I'm not saying that. Or I've never said that part altogether.
Thank you very much. And you tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show right here at Kaieteur Radio. We're coming to you live on 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara, and 99.5 in Berbice. We're also coming to you live on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio Facebook, or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. I think very quickly. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Last week, Wednesday, I was driving going up the East Coast, and at Sparnam Police Station, the police stopped me and asked me to match my brakes to see if the light was working. The inspector informed me that the said light was not working, and I was issued with a ticket. When I got home and asked my wife to press the brake for me so I could check, both lights were working. I'm not sure. I don't know what to say to you. Maybe at that point in time the light was not working. If my light is not working, I would tell the policeman get in the car and match it so I could see the thing. I'm gonna test him. I don't know what to say to you there because your word against them. If the people tell you the light is not working, but I understand what is being said here. Very quickly, I believe that Guyanese that are living in Guyana should have first preference for house lots over Guyanese who that are living abroad. Technically, those who live abroad should be able to afford land or real estate if they decide to come back to Guyana. And this is all up in the air too. I think here 3,000 square mile we have enough land here, but it's just that the available land that
everybody want the first 20,000 square miles.
Right, and that's the issue that we have here. But
5,000.
I think we have enough here. But we have to start the Central Housing and Planning Authority and the Ministry of Housing. This is going to be a key area. When I was studying this entire thing, I think around 2011, 2012, this whole central housing and what they were doing and the spin-offs, because when you look at it, and who would have missed it, I did several things when I was building my house. I got so much pain from my contractor that I wanted to kill him at one point in time. At the end of it, yes,
okay.
And he's still doing some work for me too, but I watched him very carefully and I said, I don't forget what you have done. So he's very careful around me, but I think with the family he's a little more free. But the point is, if you could get housing right, there's plenty of things that happen. The lawyers are getting work, transportation people are getting work, the banks are getting work, the court is getting work. There's a lot of fees. That means the state is getting work.
You sound just like my points that I had when Guyana was closed at a curfew at 2:00, because you had I could list you 20 industries that would have been affecting by having a 2:00 curfew in Guyana. First, if you're gonna go to an event, you're not going to the barber shop because you're normally accustomed to leaving home 10, 11 o'clock. You're not going to do your nails and your hair. You're not buying a new shirt. You're not paying the taxi. You're not buying the late night food. Right? The barman and the barmen stand to lose money because you're not going there. Right? At that one point, and I could keep that list could go on. When we bring an event to Guyana, a lot of people have this wrong misconception. A promoter pays, other than 16% VAT, a promoter pays a PAYE for an artist. He pays the PAYE, and because, let's use it as, let's say Ravi B. Sambar is Ravi B. He is not walking in 33.33% we pay. He is not walking in as Ravi B. Sambar to pay his tax, his entity, his PAYE, right? They penalize us as a promoter 16%. So that's 33.33 plus 16 of a contract of 5,000 US goes to the government of Guyana. Hear me out. At the gate, 16% tax, VAT. Right? Exiting, airport tax. Promoters, who's been paying all of that? Promoters.
Right,
so
right.
the country gains at these events. If a promoter invests in an event, $10 million Guyana, if he's fortunate to make $1 million, that is plenty money. But why do we do it? Passion, love for entertainment and the industry.
Yes, and you're right. We have to start.
Then we got to bring ads to Kaieteur News, Kaieteur Radio, the television stations, the radio DJs, the local singers. All that gets money from that event. So there's a list of about 20 that I could list. And then at one time I heard person saying that, we're going to have a 2 o'clock curfew because people is drink alcohol and beat their wives and get into accident at 2 o'clock. Never see the stats on this. Then if that was so bad, I would like to tell that person until today, then you should have closed all the rum factories down that is generating so much taxes in Guyana. Not like I'm promoting alcohol. If you're being ignorant, I'll be ignorant with you as well. Let us sit and come to a solution. If you want to stop drinking and driving, and which I want to, I support that, then park the car. Let the police do their job on the roadways. Simple.
Thank you very much, Riaz. And we come down to somebody's asking about the Nelly thing. The Nelly got sick and then she resigned, so she's off the job. But I think we talking about her doing some part-time co-hosting, but we're looking for a good co-host. Right about now, Riaz is fitting in, and until such time, we're gonna keep you posted. Of course, we dear, and so we want to bring somebody that is as fiery as Riaz and myself, and so we could be able to discuss these issues, and maybe we have different views at that point in time. But it has been engaging as normal. We have a couple of things I would have to find out about the solar issue. When are they going to roll out that? Of course, the CGI, PCR, I'm going to call those folks, and with the CXC, with the subsidy, I'm going to be talking to the minister about that. So we have a couple of things to do. But the big stories for the day, of course, would have been the Bank of Guyana relaxing those issues. You can now use your ID card at the bank, so thanks to your driver's ID card at the bank. And then they were also saying your address. You don't need to produce a proof of address, because the address that is on your driver's ID card could be used as a proof of address as well. So those are some of the big things. It's the First Lady's, Ali's birthday today. Happy birthday, First Lady. And of course, let me see what else. I think 3 escapees from the Lusignan prison. I'm sick of this. I'm not sure what is happening there. If you have guards at all 4 perimeters or the perimeter areas of a prison, floodlights and everything, how do you have these people escaping? What happened to the guards? Are these guards being penalized? Something is going on here. It's too often, every other week, you're hearing somebody escaping from the Lusignan prison, and that is a situation, seems to be a something that is ready to explode right there, right now. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. So the authorities there have to do much, much better. Somebody, you know when things are going to happen, when somebody lose a job, or they're suspended, or some pay has been docked from them or something. Not sure how that happens in a public service kind of arrangement like that. But it is where we call it George for this day here.
Good afternoon to my friend Ashraf. Ashraf, how are you doing? I hope you're good. And remember to stay with us right at Kaieteur Radio. I'll be up at 3 o'clock, pick you up in terms of some more entertainment.
Thank you very much, Riaz. Thank you very much for keeping us company. And wherever you are, wherever you would have been joining us from, in Guyana, overseas, right along Essequibo Coast, Region 10, Region 4, Region 5, Region 6. We have so many people who are here with us. So thank you very much. The Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. I am your host, Leonard Gildarie, and it has been a pleasure as always. Thank you very much, Riaz, and the controllers there. Have a pleasant rest of the day. We're going to be back tomorrow, same place, same time. And let us see if we can get some answers for some of the issues raised today. I'm going to come all ready to tell you about those. So have a pleasant rest of the day. Until then.
The government of Guyana has begun the rollout of the COVID-19 $25,000 household cash grant. Citizens are being advised that there is no pre-registration requirement. Clearly identified distribution clerks under the supervision of the Ministry of Finance will visit the respective households to verify credentials. Following this exercise, distribution will be done on a house-to-house basis. In cases where there are multiple households in one home, only the principal householder will receive the cash grant in the first instance. However, the other householders will be required to provide their information on a pink form, and following verification, they will receive the cash grant. The $25,000 household cash grant is in keeping with the government's promise to provide economic relief during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tropical delight, the flavor tasting right, pure taste and pure delight. Orange apple cranberry, fruit punch mango, yes sir, high in energy. Jumping up every day, and I jumping up every night. I think it's back and it's pure taste, pure delight. Energy to unload, behind a truck down the road, the taste going to explode. Tropical delight, pure taste. Tropical delight, pure taste and pure delight.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.